Welcome in everyone, LUFOELT coming to you with another speaking and listening video, and this video is part 2 of videos about stress in pronunciation, which was requested by one of my subscribers. Actually, this video that he requested was about sentence stress, but I did a video on stressed syllables in words, stressed and unstressed syllables in words, first because I think that that is important to understand for many people before moving on to stressed and unstressed words. So please, if you haven't seen that first video about stressed and unstressed syllables, check that out and then come back to this video, because I think it will help this video make a lot more sense. Okay, so but basically, just to introduce the topic for today's video, we're talking about stress in pronunciation. And as I mentioned, there's word stress and sentence stress, and today we'll be focusing on sentence stress. And basically, in a sentence or in any group of words, there will be some words that are unstressed and some that are stressed. And what that means is unstressed is the idea that we say less important sounds or words more quickly and with less effort. And then the idea of stressed words in pronunciation is that we say more important sounds or words a little bit more slowly and with more effort to make our meaning clear. So unstressed and stressed is all about patterns and rhythms in speech to make yourself clear and understood, make your meaning of what you're saying or what you're asking very clear. Okay. So I did show some example of this in stressed and unstressed syllables, and this is why I say to check out the first video I did on this topic, because this really ties into how you will pronounce unstressed words. And I showed an example of an unstressed vowel sound, which is represented by this IPA letter schwa. It looks like an upside down E, and the example I showed was banana, and so banana is a 3-syllable word, B-A-N-A-N-A. Which syllable do we stress? Well, you can see that by using the IPA symbols, and this ties into how we do unstressed words in sentences. A lot of one-syllable words will be unstressed. I have some examples here, like the, was, like this. These will be unstressed, and we'll pronounce them differently than how they're spelled. So it is be very useful to you if you check out that first video. But also there are other unstressed words, like because. We pronounce these with unstressed syllables, so knowing that will help you to take a look at the bigger picture and say entire sentences with correct patterns of stressed or unstressed words. So in the other video, I also introduced this idea of lower and higher level of understanding. And basically, it's not lower and higher necessarily, it's more like smaller and bigger levels of understanding, and this is definitely helpful for your understanding as well. So the focus for today's video is going to be on sentences or groups of words, and this is like what I called the higher level of understanding. Okay, so first let's just take a look at an example here of the important words in a sentence. So let's say we have a group of words here. Boy played soccer. Okay, this is not a complete sentence, but you basically understand the meaning, right? Because the important words are there. Boy played soccer. Okay, now let's turn this into a complete sentence. Okay, the boy played soccer. All right, so you can see here the unstressed word would be the, and then boy played soccer. These are the important words to communicate what I want to say. So these words are all stressed. Okay, so let's take a look at another example here. Boy played soccer friends. All right, Same idea here. These are the important words to get my meaning across. The boy played soccer with his friends. Okay? The boy played soccer with his friends. All right, you can hear in the sentence that I'm not stressing the word the or the words with his. These are the less important words. It's not like they're not important, but they're less important, and I'm stressing the more important words, okay? And now let's move to another example. Boy played soccer, friends park. All right, it's the same idea. These are the most important words in the sentence, so these are the words that I'm going to stress. The other words that go along with this to make this a complete sentence are not stressed. Okay, so the boy played soccer with his friends at the park. All right. When I slow down, you can really get a clear idea of what words should be stressed and what words should be unstressed. But when you're speaking or listening to a native speaker, it might not be so clear. But now you have some idea, okay? So I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, okay? The stressed words that you should stress when you're speaking and that you'll hear native speakers stressing while you're listening are content words. So those include words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and also question words like who, what, when, where, why, how. Okay, these are the words that you'll hear stressed and that you should stress. Okay, now unstressed words, there are a lot more of them, and these are very more commonly used, more frequent words. Articles like un, the. Pronouns I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Possessive adjectives my, your, our, their, his, her, its. And possessive pronouns mine, yours, ours, theirs, his, hers. All right, and there's another list. A lot of times be verbs are not stressed. So am, is, isn't, are, aren't, like this. This can also be in past tense as well. Conjunctions, also and, because, but, for, if, nor, or, yet, and there are many more. Modal verbs can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would, and these kinds of words. Prepositions, at, in, on, to, under, these kinds of things. Now, you should note here that there are many different kinds of conjunctions and prepositions, and sometimes they are stressed. So this is not a totally complete list, and it's not 100% always true that these words are unstressed, but in general, words like this are unstressed. Okay, these are non-content words, all right? Just like in the example we looked at. So that brings me to my next point, though, that sometimes these general rules change because context does matter. It depends on the context of the conversation in which words you stress or don't stress, okay? So let's take a look at an example here. All right, so let's say there's two business associates talking on the phone, and one person says, okay, I'll arrive at the office at 3 p.m. Okay, so you can see there the words that I've stressed. They're there in bold, and you could also hear how I pronounce them. Now, the next part is an example of where the person responds and stresses a word which may not normally be stressed. Let's take a look. He says, well, the meeting starts at 3 p.m., so you might want to arrive a bit earlier. So he's telling the person that if you come to the office at 3 p.m., that's okay, but we're starting the meeting at 3 p.m. So it would be better if you come earlier. That way you have more time to get ready. So he stresses the word at to make his meaning clear, even though at is a word that we normally don't stress. All right. Let's take another look at another example here where context matters and we stress a word that we normally don't stress. So here one person asks, is that my book? right? And the person responds, no, this is my book. All right, so normally we would not stress the word my, but in this context, to make the meaning clear, she says, this is my book. All right, so she's stressing a word that we would not normally stress. All right, let's just take a look at one more example here. You could say, look at that cat. And then maybe the other person doesn't see it. Where? I don't see it. And then she responds by saying, look, it's in the tree, right? Or she could say, it's on the branch, right? So here she's stressing the preposition to make her meaning clear, okay? In this context, the preposition's really important because the other person doesn't know, doesn't understand. So stressed words and unstressed words are basically, when you think about which ones should I stress, which ones should I not stress, well, I gave you the general list, but also just keep in mind which words are the most important. That's something you have to keep in mind, okay? And another thing that you should think about is that in English we have basically stressed words and unstressed words. There's a basic rhythm of stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, or unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. That's the basic rhythm of the English language. Now you could see in the examples that I showed you that sometimes there are two stressed words right next to each other, or maybe even three. So this isn't necessarily always the case, but I'm just telling you the basic rhythm, all right, so that you can kind of practice getting into that rhythm. It's a lot like music, okay? When you think about the way music is played, there are stronger notes and shorter notes and longer notes and softer notes. So like this, basically it's like strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak. That's the basic rhythm of English, all right? So here, let's just take a look at some examples. I want you to take a look at these 5 sentences and try to decide which words are stressed and unstressed. Okay, so go ahead and get a piece of paper and a pencil and write down these 5 sentences. All right, and then pause the video and think about the rules that I've explained to you, or maybe you can rewind a little bit, go back a little bit in the video and listen to the rules one more time, and then maybe circle the words that you think should be stressed, or underline the words that you think should be stressed, and then just leave the ones that should not be stressed, okay? So go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to show you the answers in just a moment. All right, so if you're not ready, pause the video because I'm going to show the answers now. All right, and here are the answers. All right, so you can see, based on the general rules that I told you before, these are the words that you should stress in the sentences here. I went to the doctor yesterday. Kiwis are my favorite fruit. How many apples do you want? What is the problem with the computer? Does the inspector like his tea hot or cold? All right, and you'll notice that I've used a few of the words here in this video that come from the first video, so you can kind of see how they apply in the word form and in the sentence form. Okay, how stressed and unstressed syllables and words kind of fit together. All right, so I hope that's helpful. I do have a few just parting tips here. So the first tip that I would recommend is that you start this very slowly. English is not your native language, so you're learning a skill. And just like any skill, like riding a bike or writing a paper or something, you need practice, and it's better to start slowly and try to remember the rules that I've given to you here. I encourage you to also go on YouTube, look up other channels. There's plenty of websites out there on the internet you can practice with, and TV shows, news broadcasts, these kinds of things are really good to practice your listening with this. But when you are speaking, start slow with this. Focus on really slowly, strongly giving a lot of effort to those content words and quickly getting through those non-content words that are unstressed. Okay. The other thing that I highly recommend that you do is learn about linking words together, because this is something that you need to do between stressed and unstressed words. Right, and I do have some videos about this, and I'll link in the description to this video as well as the first video for stress and unstressed syllables. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, if you have any feedback on this video, or if there's another video that you would like to see, please leave me a comment. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day.